Starship's launch pad turns into the world's largest super soaker. Starlink increases its radio noise along with its flock. Falcon Heavy is on the horizon, and we finished with today's honorable mention. I'm Kevin, back from vacation, and this is SpaceX in the news. I last left you with the successful static fire of S-25 during the final week of June. Since then, its engine shielding has been removed, and Elon has confirmed what has long been expected, that his Mars rocket will indeed be upgraded with 3 more Raptor engines on its upper stage, bringing the vehicle's total number of engines to 42, the meaning of life according to science fiction nerds. Further clarifying that the inner Raptors will be limited in their gimbaling in some directions due to impact with the outer vacuum nozzles, but probably okay. It also looks like they can increase thrust by 20% to reach 9,000 tons of force at sea level, and so deliver over 200 tons of payload to a useful orbit with full and rapid reusability. 50 rockets flying every 3 days on average enables over a megaton of payload to orbit per year, enough to build a self-sustaining city on Mars. But before Starship gets there, it first needs to reach orbit, and in order to do that, it needs an industrial splash pad installed under its launch stand. The main part was inserted on the 5th, followed by much of the required plumbing, and a week later the first major purge test was conducted. Yesterday morning, Starship 25's first stage, Booster 9, was moved from the construction yard, seen here in Lab Padres cams passing in front of the new high bay currently being built, and down Highway 4 to the launch site. SpaceX tweeted she has testing to conduct ahead of its flight. Later that evening, the booster was lifted onto the unfinished orbital launch mount. The next booster in line, B10, conducted its own cryo test on Tuesday this week at Massey's. So that pretty much catches us up on Starship news, so let's move on to Starlink now. SpaceX launched 4 Starlink missions over the past 3 weeks, totaling 139 new satellites, 15 of which were V2 minis launched for the first time from the West Coast. A new reuse record was set at 16 flights for a single first-stage booster on July 9th, and was proven to not be a fluke when the company did it again during a follow-up mission with another booster just 6 days later. But check out this clear poop deck footage of the last Starlink mission's booster landing on a shortfall of gravitas Wednesday night. If you think back to my last live stream with you guys and how we noticed the improved clarity of the second stage GoPro, it appears SpaceX is in the middle of upgrading their fleet of cameras. With the increase in their Starlink constellation comes an increase in electromagnetic noise according to a recent study conducted by radio astronomers. Using the low-frequency array radio telescope at the Dutch Radio Observatory, they detected radio emissions from 47 of 68 Starlink satellites they monitored, likely coming from subsystems within the spacecraft. However, astronomers noted that these emissions do not violate any regs, and SpaceX has been willing to work with them to mitigate interference on their work, including design changes already made to the next-gen satellites that can reduce said emissions. We do have a couple Falcon missions lined up for this weekend and next week. More Starlink pigeons are expected to leave vertically from the Cape tomorrow evening. Then Falcon Heavy could lift off from Pad 39A as early as Wednesday night. SpaceX is already the most valued private tech company in the United States and is now worth 150 billion Musk bucks, according to a recent offer to sell some of the company's shares at $81 each. SpaceX told its investors it expects to double its revenue in 2023 at $8 billion. But now it's time for today's honorable mention. On Tuesday, Rocket Lab launched their 39th Electron from Complex 1 in New Zealand, carrying 7 spacecraft amongst NASA, Spaceflight Laboratory, and Spire Global. The mission was titled Baby Come Back because the company attempted to recover the first stage booster, which they did after it re-entered the atmosphere and popped shit, brah. It splashed down in the ocean and was scooped up by the recovery vessel. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for being here. Good to be back. Have a nominal weekend, and until next Friday's episode, Godspeed.